Hey again, Billy the Tank Tutko here from T3, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what I do when I'm in a situation or when I'm thinking about defensive situations, right? Most of everyone's heard of OODA loop, observe, orient, decide, act. It was originally coined by an Air Force pilot back in Vietnam. So we should always be paying attention to our surroundings. I'm always observing what's going on. I'm going to observe something. I'm going to orient my body. I'm going to decide, is that a threat or not? Yes, it's a threat. I have two things I can do. I can immediately draw and shoot, or I can draw and, let's say, give commands. So I observe, orient, I decide I need to do something with my firearm. I draw that firearm out, right? Maybe I'm giving commands. Hey, let go of that girl, or drop the knife, or let go of the gun, or drop the gun, or whatever, right? That's one way we can do it. Or I may have decided whatever that person is doing, as soon as I get out on target, I'm sending rounds. So I'm drawing that gun and I'm coming out and I'm putting rounds. Now, I'm going to talk about what I'm doing after each round. I'm not shooting those extremely fast, but I'm seeing my sights, squeezing the trigger, and I'm getting back on my sights. When I get back on my sights, I'm reassessing the threat. Are they still a threat? Did they let the gun go? Did they let the knife go? Are they no longer doing what they were doing and I no longer have to use force? If they're no longer a threat, I am going to stop using force. I am going to continue using force if they are a threat. Once they are no longer a threat, I am going to stop using force, stop sending rounds. When I decide, I draw my gun out, get on those sights, send my first round. Right afterwards, I recoil back on target, send another round. Back on target, send another round until they're no longer a threat. Once they're no longer a threat, the first thing I'm going to do is check finger. I take that finger, get it high off the trigger, completely outside of my trigger guard, okay? So I check finger, check gun. What am I checking the gun for? I'm checking the gun to make sure it's in battery. I'm not at slide lock. I don't have a malfunction going on. After I check finger, check gun, I'm coming back to chest. I'm going to check world. I'm going to give a look around, see what's happening. Okay? I don't want to just immediately put my gun away. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One of the reasons why I don't want to just immediately put my gun away is I may have another threat. The other thing, and this is what I see a lot with accidents, with shootings, where people are shooting themselves when they're training, is they're coming back and they're immediately jamming that gun away as fast and as hard as they can, right? I don't want to do that. So, I'm out on target, check finger, check gun, check world, right? Give myself a look, give myself a good look around, right? Check everything out. Take a breath, check holster, nice and easy, reholster. I'm taking that finger completely off of that gun and completely off of that gun and completely away from the gun while I'm reholstering it. So I'm doing it nice and slow. I'm not jamming this thing in here. Okay? This is a very sensitive time for when we're reholstering, is getting that gun back in the holster. And if I get any kind of resistance, am I going to push? No. I'm going to pull the gun out, and if I have to, I'll take the holster off, check my holster. Okay, there's nothing in there. Put my gun back in the holster, and then I can put the whole thing on together. Okay, I do not want to jam that gun in there. I always want to be very aware of my cover garment too. Not letting that get in there. Always pulling that up high enough to where I can get that pistol into that holster without any kind of issues. So, making sure my finger's completely off that trigger, right? Making sure I go slowly into the holster. Making sure that if I get resistance, I don't jam the gun in there. I pull it out and check my holster, and always making sure that I get that garment out of the way so that way it doesn't get in there and cause any issues in my reholster.